Hello friends, in this topic we have to discuss these subpoints regarding this laser. First point is what is laser, then second characteristics of this laser, then third is a principle of laser, then three we have to learn three processes: stimulated absorption, spontaneous emission and stimulated emission. Then next point is a population inversion, then again metastable state, and last one is the component of laser, which is subdivided into three types. First one is active medium, second one is resonance cavity, and third one is a pumping. Again, in pumping we discussed two sub points. First one is a optical pumping and second one is inelastic atom atom collision. So this is outline of this video. We have to study laser. Laser is a term acronym for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Ruby laser was the first invented laser, which is invented in the year 1960. Again, this laser is a device that produces monochromatic, coherent, high intensity and highly directional light. Due to the remarkable characteristics, laser has wide variety of applications. Let's see characteristics of laser. First one is coherence. Coherence. Laser is a highly coherent. Second one is wavelength. Laser consists of a single wavelength. Single wavelength. So we call it as a monochromatic. Monochromatic. Again, third characteristic is directionality. Directionality. This laser is a unidirectional. It is unidirectional. And fourth one is polarization. You all know the definition of polarization. So this laser light is a polarized light. And fifth one is the intensity. Laser consists of a highly intense beam. Highly intense beam. The full form of this laser, that is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation, this itself gives its meaning, that is there is a amplification of light by the process which is stimulated emission of radiation. That is, stimulated emission of radiation is a basic principle of laser. The laser operates on the principle of quantum theory of radiation, that is principle of quantum theory of radiation. Quantum theory of radiation. Three processes are there which are important to know before studying laser, which are: first one is stimulated absorption or simply absorption. Second one is spontaneous emission, and third one is stimulated emission. Stimulated emission. We have to discuss these 3 points. So first point is stimulated emission, or simply stimulated absorption, or simply absorption. Stimulated absorption. So for sake of simplicity, consider there is an atom consisting of only two levels. Suppose this is energy level 1 called as E1, and this is energy level 2 called as E2, where this E1 is ground state energy and this energy level E2 is excited state energy. Excited state energy. So suppose atom is initially present at this ground state. Suppose this is an atom which is in ground state E1, and now if we incident a photon having energy h nu, where nu is the frequency of this photon. So if we incident the photon on this atom which is initially present at this ground state, then this atom absorbs the energy from the photon and it goes to the excited state E2. So this energy difference between E2 and E1 is equal to h nu. So this process of absorption of photon by ground state atom and it goes to excited state is called as the stimulated absorption or absorption. Symbolically we can write it as a, suppose A represents the ground state atom when photon of energy h nu is absorbed by this ground state atom, then it goes to the excited state, which is represented as A star. So this is a symbolical representation that A plus h nu gives A star. In this case, the rate of transition from energy level E1 to energy level E2, that is from, in other case we call it as a from the energy level 1 to energy level 2. So rate of transition from R1 to 2 is directly proportional to the number of atoms initially present in the ground state N1. Also this rate R12 is also directly proportional to I nu, where this I nu is the energy density of radiation. So combinedly we can write this equation as R12 is directly proportional to N1 I nu, and for this proportionality sign we can write R12 is equal to B12 N1 I nu, where this B12 is a proportionality constant called as Einstein coefficient, and this is a rate of transition from energy level 1 to energy level 2. So this is all about absorption or stimulated absorption. Then next point is spontaneous emission. Spontaneous emission. So again consider atom consisting of two energy levels E1 and energy level E2, where this E1 is a ground state energy and E2 is the excited state energy. So in case of stimulated absorption, atom absorbs the energy from external photon and it goes to the excited state. But when it goes to excited state, suppose now atom is present in this excited state, but it can't stay for a longer time, since after 10 power minus 8 second it eventually emits the photon having energy h nu and it come back to the energy level E1, which is a ground state energy. So this process is known as a spontaneous emission. So h nu is equal to this energy difference, that is E2 minus E1. So symbolically we can write this. We consider here atom is already present in the excited state, so A star gives after 10 power minus 8 second A plus this emitted photon, that is h nu. So this is symbolical representation of spontaneous emission. So in this case the rate of spontaneous emission is from energy level E2 to E1. So here we write R21 is directly proportional to, now it is directly proportional to N2, that is N2 is number of atoms present in the excited state. And to remove its proportionality sign we can write R21 is equal to A21 N2, where this A21 is a proportionality constant called as Einstein coefficient. So this is a rate of transition from energy level 2 to energy level 1. There is another type of emission called as a stimulated emission. Stimulated emission. We know an atom in an excited state eventually falls to ground state after 10 power minus 8 second. After 10 power minus 8 second by emitting a photon of energy h nu. But suppose this is E1 and this is E2 and this is excited atom. Now if we incident a photon on this atom before 10 power minus 8 second, then in this case we get a two emitted photons, where this one photon is by emitting this h nu amount of energy by this excited atom, and another photon is due to the incident photon. So for incidence of one photon on the excited state atom we get a 2, that is there is a amplification is done, and this process is called as a stimulated emission. Once again I repeat this process. Suppose atom is initially present at an excited state, and before spontaneous emission occurs, if we incident a photon having energy h nu is incident on this excited state atom, then we get a two emitted photons for a incidence of one photon, that is amplification is occurs, and this excited state atom again come back in the ground state, that is E1, and this process is called as a stimulated emission. So in this process of stimulated emission we can symbolically write as initially atom is present in excited state, so we can write A star, and we incident a photon having energy h nu, so A star plus h nu gives A, that is when it goes down to the E1 then it becomes A, and we get two photons having energy h nu, so 2 h nu. This is a symbolical representation of stimulated emission. So again the rate of transition from energy level E2 to energy level E1, so R21 is directly proportional to number of atoms N2 present in the excited state E2, and also is directly proportional to R21 is directly proportional to I nu. So combinedly we can write this equation as R21 is directly proportional to N2 I nu, and for this proportionality sign we can write R21 is equal to B21 N2 I nu. So this is the equation for rate of transition from energy level E2 to energy level E1 for this stimulated emission. So this is all about stimulated emission, and we know laser, or full form of laser, that is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. So principle behind this laser is stimulated emission of radiation, and this is a process of stimulated emission where amplification is done, and that is here one photon is incident and we get a two photons. So this is amplification, and this process is stimulated emission of radiation, and laser is work on it. So these are the three processes: absorption, spontaneous emission, and stimulated emission. Then next point is population inversion. This is next point. Again, consider atom consisting of two energy level E1 and E2, where this E1 is ground state energy and E2 is the excited state energy. So generally we know the number of atoms in ground state is always greater than number of atoms in the excited state. Suppose N1 is the number of atoms in the ground state energy and N2 is the number of atoms in the excited state energy. So generally the condition is N1 is always greater than N2. But to achieve the stimulated emission, we have to require more number of atoms present, or more number of atoms in an excited state than in the ground state. So that is, we have to require here En2 must be greater than En1, and this condition is called as population inversion. Population inversion. That is, if this condition gets satisfied, then we can say there is a population inversion. So there is a term negative temperature states. Negative temperature states. It is a state of system in which population of this higher energy state is more than population of this lower energy state. We know in case of stimulated absorption, atom from this ground state energy level absorb a photon or incident photon having energy h nu, and it goes to the excited state. In this case, the rate of transition R12 is equal to PA into N1, where N1 is the number of atoms in the ground state energy level or E1, and PA is the probability of stimulated absorption. Also, the rate of transition from in case of stimulated emission is R21 is equal to PE into N2, where this N2 is the number of atoms present in the excited state and PE is the probability of stimulated emission. So if thermal equilibrium is there, then in this case this PA is equal to PE. This is the condition. Again, next point is a metastable state. Metastable state. Excited atom, that is this atom. So this excited atom can't stay for a longer time in this excited state. After 10 power minus 8 seconds, it eventually returns to the ground state by emitting a photon having energy equal to this energy difference E2 minus E1. But there are also some excited states like this. Excited states are there called as a metastable state. where atom can stay longer time, just like a second, minute or hour. And this is a suitable condition for the process of stimulated emission. Means, see here, if atom is in ground state energy and if we incident photon on it, then it goes to excited state. After, when atom goes in excited state after 10 power minus 8 second, it eventually started emission. Then before going to this E1 level, it goes to this medium level called as a metastable state, and in this state this atom can stay for a longer time, such as a second, hour, minute, etc. And in this state, if we incident a photon, then we get a two emitted photons, that is stimulated. We can create here stimulated emission. So this is a metastable state, and this is a suitable for the process of this stimulated emission. So this is about metastable state. The next point is a components of laser. Components of lasers. There are three types or three components of laser. First one is a active medium, second one is resonance cavity, and third one is pumping. So let us deal with this one by one. So active medium. This is the first component of laser. It is a medium in which population inversion takes place, or in other words, it is a medium which when excited attains the state of population inversion and light gets amplified. That is medium responsible for the amplification of light. Active medium may be a solid, it may be a liquid, or it may be a gaseous. For example, in ruby laser, we use a ruby rod which consists of a material Al2O3 plus Cr2O3. So this is example of active medium. The next point is resonance cavity. It consists of two mirrors. Suppose this is mirror 1 M1 and this is mirror 2 M2. These two mirrors are facing to each other like this, and in between these two mirrors we place a material which is consist of a active medium. But here one mirror is 100%. Suppose this M1 is a mirror is 100% reflecting, and another mirror is a partially reflecting. This is a partially reflecting mirror. This is a construction of resonance cavity. We will see its uses in helium neon laser. Then next point is pumping. Pumping is the process of getting number of atoms in an excited state for the process of stimulated emission. or also for spontaneous emission. Or in other words, it is a process of raising atom from lower energy. Suppose this is a lower energy E1 and this is lower upper energy or excited state energy E2. So pumping is a process of getting number of atoms in an excited state. So initially we know number of atoms are maximum at a ground state, and due to pumping, these atoms can get to the excited state E2. So this is a process of pumping. There are several methods of this. First one is optical pumping. Optical pumping. In this method, again consider, suppose this is energy level E2 and this is energy level E1, which is a ground state energy. And this is excited state energy. So in this method, initially suppose atom is present in the ground state and we incident a photon on it. Means we incident photon using a light source or by using the flash lamp. So when we use a flash lamp, the atom in a ground state absorbs the energy and it goes to the excited state. That means we pump a ground state atom to excited state atom by incident a light on it, and this is a optical pumping. This optical pumping is used in a ruby laser, which is a solid state laser. Again, next point is a inelastic atom collision. This inelastic atom collision is a method used in a helium neon laser. Which is a gas laser. So in this inelastic atom collision, in this method we use a mixture of gases. Suppose A and B are the two gases and have some excited state A star and B star. That is, a gas A having excited state A star and gas B having excited state B star. So suppose this is energy level diagram. E1 and E2 are the ground state and excited state of the atom A, and this is E3 and E4 are the ground state and excited state of atom B. In this case, atom A absorbs energy and it goes to the excited state like this, and it becomes A star. And when this atom is excited, it collides with this atom B and it eventually come back in the ground state. So this amount of energy is given to the atom B and it gets excited and goes to the energy level E4 and become B star. So due to collision of these atoms, the energy is transferred from this one atom to two atoms, and in this way pumping is happening there. So this is a inelastic atom collision, and this is used in a helium neon laser. More specifically, you clear your idea of this inelastic atom collision in this helium neon laser. So this is all about this point.